Scalp micropigmentation are tiny little dots of pigment placed just underneath the surface of the scalp to mimic the appearance of a hair on end. Really what they're actually trying to mimic is the appearance of the hair going into the os, which is the tiny little hole that your hair goes into on your scalp. And if you're able to make tiny little dots that are crisp and tiny, then you can actually make your whole head look more dense without any surgery.
There's two different categories, in my opinion. There's the person who has no hair, who is primarily bald, but wants to have the look of hair or the look of hair that's been shaved. So we do the full scalp and it looks amazing. That is pretty terrific. There's also a process for people who have thinning hair or in the process of losing their hair. We go in and we add pigmentation to the existing hair to give that fuller, more dense look. And it's for both men and women.
Essentially, it's a really small fine point needle that has 3 points at the end, resembles a hair follicle, and it's very superficial points of pigment that we place into the scalp to resemble hair follicles to make it look like the hair is growing out of the scalp. And it's very low in terms of pain. Most patients do really well. It doesn't damage the hair follicle. It's not deep like a tattoo would be, and the color fades into shades of gray over time, so it looks very natural. And that's something that a lot of our patients love because you wake up in the morning and it's good to go. You don't have to worry about applying anything, and it can last years without a touch-up. So it's a great option.
It's actually tattooing. It's a different process in that the needles are different, the ink is different, the placement is different, the depth is different. Regular tattooing, body tattooing, goes much deeper. They use a different kind of ink. With SMP, we go much more shallow. It's special ink made for the scalp, and it's permanent, much like a body tattoo.
In order to train, I developed something I call Syn Scalp. Syn Scalp, I'm not going to tell you its secret ingredients, but it's an actual synthetic scalp that holds the pigment just like a real scalp would. As a matter of fact, when we started using the Syn Scalp to do the training, even the staff members who had gotten really good at doing scalp micropigmentation got even better and were able to experiment with different techniques because different scalps have different colorations and they have different depth of skin, especially at the top and also at the back. The anatomy changes throughout the entire head. So you're going to need something that allows you to experiment for what the best options are for your patient.
Patients I've worked on usually end with, I can't believe how good that looks. I can't believe that in one session you can change my look in a matter of a couple of hours. Typically what we do is a test patch about the size of a nickel somewhere on the scalp that's not noticeable. They go home, they spend a couple of days checking it out, and almost always book for an SMP appointment. Showing them their before picture and an after picture after the test patch, they're thrilled that something that appears this complicated could be done so quick and have that kind of effect. They're thrilled.